business?
Yeah. Alright.
Hey. Keeping busy?
Wouldn't say busy.
Huh?
Wouldn't say busy.
No?
No. It's alright. Most people are driving like they should, so it's alright.
As they should.
Yeah, they've been well behaved. There's not much going on, which is good.
Not much going on.
No.
What about all other crimes?
Yeah, but we're a road policing team, so this is what we're here to do. I think you probably find more people get injured and hurt in road traffic collisions than what they do in actual crimes, yeah.
Dangerous slip at the roads.
Say that again.
Dangerous slip at the roads, huh?
Yeah, very, very.
How long you here already?
Not that long. But the thing is, nowadays, by the time you get somewhere, you've got to remember that there's apps now that tell people that the police are here, aren't they? Like Waze, that'll soon pop up that we're here.
That's how I came here.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. I'm watching what you guys up to always, and
oh really?
yeah, now coming to see you.
Oh, okay.
We have a chat, you know.
Oh, okay.
How's things? How's business?
Do you live near here then?
Yeah, local.
Whereabouts you live?
Somewhere.
Somewhere?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Do you always record the police or?
Recording all sorts.
You record all sorts?
Yeah, just, you know, interesting material.
Okay.
So you firearms officer?
Yes.
And you do those things, trafficking as well?
Yeah.
Because in the past,
Say again?
in the past was shootings, and I as far as I know, police, they decline firearm officers to deal with the road traffic, you know, issues.
Sorry, say again?
In the past, there's been shootings from the police to public members because of the road stoppings, and they.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and there's been some challenges against the police, and police apparently declined to do these things.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it's for that reason, but yeah, you do kind of
You know, it's just more risk for public.
Yeah.
You know, with the firearms, you can, you know, you never know how a situation can escalate from 0 to 100.
No, I think fortunately for us, we don't have it. It's not too bad here, but you can see, like from videos in America, that they.
Oh, yeah, in America. Yeah, but this incident was here in UK.
Was it?
Yeah.
What was that?
Huh?
But which one was it? Do you know?
I'm not quite sure now. I need to read again, but I don't remember. But it's definitely not in Norfolk.
Ah, right.
It's not in Norfolk. Did you know what's happened for one of the X5 drivers who is done hit and run?
Yeah.
That's an Norfolk driver, police officer. He done hit and run.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, just want to know if you know something.
No. What? Hit and run?
Yeah, accident and run.
Is this the one that happened a few years?
Sometime, yeah, ago.
Yeah. I think that's all been sorted now, isn't it? It's been done, sort of all finalised.
Yeah. Are you still in work, that police officer?
Oh yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's still working.
It's not of one of them 10 been sacked for dishonestly?
No, there's nothing dishonest about it.
Yeah, hit and run is put the public members in danger. You know, it's left it. You should look after them.
Yeah.
Not right.
You didn't see. You have obviously been doing your homework. You haven't read about it, have you? No, you need to go and read about it and see what happened, and then it'll become clear for you.
I didn't know exactly what's happened, but apparently you have some blackouts or something.
Yeah, it's not this.
Wow.
What are you suggesting that the police officer's lying?
Believe me, I have a lot of proofs.
You have what?
A lot of proofs.
A lot of proof?
Police officers are lying.
Ah, okay, right.
You know?
Have a good day, won't you?
You have to watch how the police officer mishandles a breathalyzer. The worst thing is how many times. From the very first second, this police officer became my point of interest. Throughout our interactions, I make a conscious effort to keep the officer engaged in conversation, providing me with the opportunity to capture his actions on film. I try to film as much as possible how he is throwing and banging this breathalyzer. This kind of action is against any correct procedures of handling sensible machinery.
Hello. How are we?
How you doing? You alright?
Yeah, not so bad. How are you?
Yeah.
Keeping busy?
Always.
What are you looking for today?
What's that?
What are you looking for today?
Well, it's our winter drink drive campaign, you see. So we're essentially looking for anyone committing a moving road traffic offence, pulling them in. We don't necessarily deal with all the offences. Sometimes we let people off with a warning, but it gives us a chance to breath test people to make sure they haven't been drinking. So obviously, as you know, that
After the weekend, more possibilities.
well, exactly.
Yeah.
And drink is obviously one of our biggest causes of fatalities on the roads. So yeah, it's all good. The sun is shining.
Sun is
We've had our coffee, so it's all good.
You have coffee?
We've had a coffee earlier on. So
Where did you get from?
Oh, we had the McDonald's.
Yeah,
McDonald's
popular
coffee,
place.
you know,
Yeah,
it's,
McDonald's. What about public members? Are they sometimes offering you free drinks or whatever?
Public members?
Yeah.
Free drinks? No, not normally. Not normally, no. Obviously, we're a bit kind of funny about taking freebies from anyone, so yeah. That's right.
I just, just for interest, are people offering or not? Police officers, free drinks?
I've certainly not been offered any free drinks by members of the public, as nice as that may be, but yeah.
What about if they offer? Would you take?
Sorry?
If, for example, if they offer you free drinks, would you take?
To my girlfriend?
Now, if public members offers you free drink,
We were a bit funny about that because obviously we have to be seen as being impartial, don't we, in the police? So, yeah, you've got to be sensible about it. If someone offers you a cup of tea in their house when you're taking a statement from them, that's slightly different, isn't it? So, yeah, I certainly wouldn't be taking gifts or bribes from anyone. That would be a bit naughty.
did you have to register there? If you take any...
You should do, yeah. You should do.
That's what I'm asking. I know. You should register everything.
Yeah,
should
we have to register with our professional standards department if we take anything.
Because you have to follow the process.
It's all about. It's all about.
Just checking how you know your stuff.
There's a lot of stuff to remember, you see, so we might not, always get it right, but we try our best, don't we? So yeah, that's what we can do. How are you today? You alright?
I'm not so bad. Where are you from? Are you local?
We're from Broadland.
That's why I'm not recognize anyone.
Yeah.
From Broadland.
Yeah, it's a good station. Yeah, it's nice.
What, that new one?
Yeah, well, we used to be at Acle.
Yeah.
That's quite small. I think it was built in the 30s, so it wasn't really fit for purpose. Whereas Broadland,
It's not very accessible to the public, that station.
no, well,
It's all fenced.
deliberately so, obviously, because obviously the stuff we deal with sometimes can be a bit sensitive. So yeah, it's a nice park.
Because I watch the videos when people visiting police stations, but that one I know is very,
we
very...
used to have people sometimes come to Acle. Obviously, it wasn't
With the
secure.
cameras?
Well, I don't even know if the cameras were working at Acle.
No,
when we
people
were there.
filming with the cameras.
We used to have people who liked police cars turning up. And they'd come out, they'd show around the police cars and the and stuff. Yeah. It's all nice. April's a lovely place.
What about if I ask you to turn the blues? Would you do?
For you? Yeah, of course I can. Yeah.
Can you do it just for
if you want
video,
to.
please?
Yeah, you want
Thank
video?
you. I appreciate that.
I'm over here.
Thank you, mate.
Get in. Have you seen inside one?
Not really, but yeah.
They're not that exciting. Yeah, essentially we've got two buttons. We've got
Can I press it?
no. I'll do it.
Can you put the siren?
No sirens. I don't want to wake anyone up.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Can I quick have a look inside?
Yeah, of course you can.
Yeah, thank you.
These are our response vehicles.
Someone is chasing on this channel.
We just turn that down. So we haven't got any back seats in these ones, but they're fairly normal inside. They've got our
What is
radios
that
and bits
screen
and pieces.
there?
That's for our ANPR camera, so it's not on at the moment. But obviously some vehicles got ANPR and they.
Is have any protection screen on there? Or?
Well, so if you're single crewed, you shouldn't be looking at a screen. So you have to say whether, when you sign into it, you have to say whether you're double crewed or single crewed. If you're double crewed, the person sat here can read that. If you're single crewed, it won't show you an image. It'll just tell you.
No, I mean, if, for example, you're driving or whatever, I'm
so
public
you
member, I'm coming, other cars, X5s, they have a covers on the screen.
So what you can do is
to protect private information.
Yeah, you can turn the screen off and stuff like that, and also you can get rid of the if it flags up as something on there, you can get rid of it and clear it. So you wouldn't, say if you park up and go for the shops or whatever, you wouldn't want that lying about because obviously someone like you say can walk past and have a look.
How long you doing this job?
15 years now.
15 years. That's a big experience.
Yeah.
So you prosecuted a lot of guys.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I don't do the prosecuting.
Well, I mean, you instigate let's say it this way,
We help people as well. It's not just all about prosecuting people. We do what we can, can't we? We do all sorts of bits and pieces in the police. I often said if aliens landed, who would you call? You'd call the police, wouldn't you? Because who else is going to turn up and deal with it?
Well, most most of the stuff you, by the legal process, to carry on with the legal process, you have to contact the police to get the reference.
Yeah.
But for me personal, I don't expect too much in my own personal experience, you know.
Mate, the police are like people. There's lots of different types of police officers. Some you might get on with, some you might not. You know, it's just all about. I often think about policing is all about people skills. You know, it's how you talk to people, how you come across. A lot of that is, you know, if you're dealing with confrontation.
And that's why I have some issues with the police, because how they dealt with the situation, you know, using aggression, smashing car windows and whatever, and I'm like, you know,
sometimes we have to be aggressive, because at the end of the day, that's the only way of getting the job done.
Well, I give you the example. You're the man for the job.
Yeah.
Do I have to carry my drive license with me?
You should do, but not really. Not everyone does.
So it's a yes or no answer.
Yeah, I'd say, well, no, not really.
Yes, is a specific process in place.
Yeah.
So therefore, would you smash car window?
It depends. And
if I don't have the simple situation, if I don't have a drive license on me,
no, I wouldn't. But equally,
what you do instead? Ask my personal information or ask to bring in 7 days.
Yeah, you can.
In my specific situation, nothing happened. Window went.
Yeah.
So it's definitely wrong.
It's difficult, isn't it? I can't comment on the situation if I wasn't there. You know. I don't know
but that's what I say. That simple explanation.
I've put in car windows before because of, you know, I needed to get to the driver, or there was a reason to do it.
It depends if it's a reason.
I wouldn't certainly do it if I didn't think you had a driving license on you.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. That's why, you know, I have a problem with dealing with that. So, you know, again, to go on a legal process, you have to report to the police as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we obviously have our checks and balances as well, don't we? We have our the people who police the police. You know, we've got our professional standards department, we've got the IOPC, we've got those. You know,
I want to get in contact with them and do it together. You know, I would love to do that.
Yeah.
Just have a look how they do, and maybe.
But it's difficult as well. You know, you put yourself in our shoes. Sometimes it is difficult. You know, certainly in situations where there's adrenaline, and you know, it's difficult to make decisions with.
Well,
when
that's why you should be professional at any time. You know.
Oh, absolutely, but
that's why your job is for.
But we're all human beings. That's the problem. Is at the end of the day, you know, if you're in a situation where you're fighting with somebody, it's difficult.
Oh yeah, that's
punches to the face. You know, if you're being hit, you're being hurt. Your adrenaline comes up. The fight and flight. You're trying to control those emotions.
When is aggression? Yes, I'm agree with you. You can do, you know, basically whatever.
Even then, you need to be able to restrain yourself. You know, that's the
hardest bit.
The hardest bit is pulling yourself back from that red mist when when you're in a fight with somebody and something's going on.
Yeah,
and,
but
as soon as that person's under control, then
when you have no provocation situations and police acting like this, you know, it's full of internet of videos, and it's like, seriously, why? You know.
Again, it's all, you know, police are just human beings. You get good ones, you get bad ones.
And those bad ones damaging the good ones.
Absolutely.
You know, like you acting absolutely cool to them.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, you got to think about how many interactions we have with the public on a year. You know, millions of interactions. Unfortunately, a lot of those interactions get ignored because they're nothing interactions. You know, nothing happens, nothing interesting happens. But it's more interesting seeing police being bad, isn't it? Because it makes a motive. You think, oh, look at those guys, they're corrupt cops. You know, so it always gets your heckles up. Whereas if you see a police officer just speaking to someone normal, you go, that's a bit boring. So no one wants to watch that video, do they? So it's difficult. Our job is always difficult, and we're never there in nice situations. You know, police are always turning up when it's a bad situation. I'm turning up to tell someone their relatives died, or I'm there to go and arrest someone because they've beaten up their wife or something horrible like that. I'm never there in a good situation. You know? Very rarely we get to rescue people and stuff like that. And that is nice. It feels good. But it is always, you're turning up in people's worst times. And it's just trying to manage that really and trying to balance it all out.
So how many drink drivers you catch today?
Today none. So
none? How long are you here?
We've been here about half an hour, but we've breath tested 7 people. A lot of it's education. If people see us out and about and they see us breath testing people, then they'll go away and they'll think, oh crikey, the police are out and about, I better not have a drink before going to work, or I better be careful. If I'm on a night out, I won't drive the following morning, because a lot of it is people driving to work the day after a night out, and their alcohol levels are still high. And I've been to plenty of fatal crashes where people have been drinking. And it takes its toll on us, if not else the families and everyone else, or innocent road users who get hit by a drink driver.
So you do 15 years and all the time road policing?
So I've been 4 years response, so frontline. You have to do frontline policing, so what we would call response, for a little bit of time first, before a minimum of 2 years, but I did 4. Then I applied for armed response. That's what I wanted to do. But we're a joint road policing and armed department. So when we're not doing the armed response work, which obviously you can imagine there's not a huge, there's bits and pieces, but they're not huge. Not doing it every day. Then we do road policing as well. So I wouldn't consider myself a true traffic cop. I've got a white hat, but I don't know all the ins and outs of, there are traffic cops who really know their stuff, who would go through a vehicle.
I have one incident with one. His looks is very, very confident.
Oh, really?
His knows his stuff. He's give me all the explanation.
Yeah.
But the situation, I'm not gonna go into it.
I wouldn't be able to do that. I wouldn't know all the legislation, the minute legislation.
And I'm very, very confident on that stuff as well. I'm trained myself for many, many years, and it's gonna be interesting case because he charged me.
Oh really? Are you going to court?
Well, I've been prosecuted, but in my absence.
Right. Okay.
So I'm reopened the case at the moment.
Right. Okay.
So I want to meet him in the court. I say, you confident today? We'll see in the court.
We'll see. Roll them dice.
Because I know the tricks was done wrong. Of course, I'm not gonna tell him on the day I'm gonna use in the court. That's fun for me. And but he was so confident, and I was talking to him, and I was laughing, and we have our conversation maybe after that, and he's so confident, and I'm like, okay.
It's difficult. Certainly as a police officer, they can only teach you so much before your head explodes, and there's so much legislation that really you have to kind of, like if you're a proper traffic cop, they kind of specialise in that, don't they? But certainly like in regards to like domestic violence, things like that. My knowledge of I know what to do in the situation, but my knowledge of the kind of minutiae of the legislation is lacking. So you can only really retain so much. But I mean, I'd know who to call and who to, if I had a problem and what do I do in this situation? But
I have a question. For example, you decide to charge someone.
Yeah.
You're going back to police station.
Yeah.
What two stages you have to undergo before you contact your supervisor?
Crikey, now you're asking me. See,
So you charge people, so you should know.
We don't charge. I don't charge people. I have to go to there's 2 different ways of doing it, depending on the offence. So you either go to an evidential review officer, so who would be my sergeant. And I would say, look, here's the evidence I've gathered. Do you think there's enough to get a successful prosecution? So that tends to be for kind of more low-level things. I'm not saying necessarily low level, but stuff that doesn't need to go to the Crown Prosecution.
So that's your 2 stages. First is your statement, and the second called evidential stage. So you have to gather.
Yeah, you have to gather all the evidence.
Yes. Then you go to the sergeant.
Yeah.
Is undergo the same process, your statement and look in the evidence.
Yeah.
Then you go into CPS.
Not necessarily. So if the sergeant makes a charging decision, sometimes you can bypass the CPS, because obviously we deal with so much stuff that the CPS can't review all of our prosecutions. Depends on the severity of the offence and the level that it's pitched at. So if it's a higher level offence, then it would go straight to CPS and bypass my sergeant, and they would have to do the same.
Let me ask you the question, right? Of course, I'm suing the police for that, what's happened to me, but that's why I'm asking you, I have a meaning in mind. How come those police officers and the sergeant on whatever is pass the evidential stage to sue me without evidence? When I came to the court, I asked, give me the evidence. That's all they want.
They would have to have something, but without
they have nothing. They have only statements, and I see case after case like this. That's why I'm like, how is that works?
Ultimately, it's that. I mean, you'd have to look at the statements, and ultimately it's for the court to decide if they're taking the court to trial. Then it would be for you to produce your evidence or to counter their evidence, whatever. And at that stage, they'd have to show you all the evidence they have anyway. So at some point,
that's for me. That's for me. Again, was the problem because they sue me in my absence again. I'm reopened the case. I call them in. I say, give me all the video material on the body worn cameras, because I'm informed them whatever happened that night, I'm gonna sue you now. So I say, make sure. I even told them, don't delete the video, don't touch the video. I will get access to this. If not, that would be more worse.
Like I say, we sometimes get it wrong, so it's worth seeing what.
So that's my the biggest problem for me. How law should work. If there's no evidence, the case should be dismissed immediately. Doesn't matter the statement or incident. No evidence, get lost.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I say, without knowing the ins and outs of the case, I would get a comment. But
no, this is simple. You just told me your statement and evidence. So how come they passing all the stages to the court without
Like I
evidence?
say, without knowing the ins and outs, I would get it.
That's you know, that's what I'm finding difficult, and I'm finding a lot of cases like this, and I'm like, how is that works? And I know most.
You get for that?
Oh, big punishment. Very big. I was even surprised with the punishment. Oh my God.
It's often more severe if it goes to court sometimes, because if we deal with it out of court, or if you plead guilty early, obviously you say you didn't, refuse a breath test, but if, say, for any reason you got sent to court and you pleaded guilty earlier, then obviously they take leniency on you and the sentence is often lower. So
what about drink driving leniency? It's still 12 months.
what's that, for drink driving?
Yeah. For refusing to breathalyze.
It can depend on the situation. They can give longer bans or shorter bans depending on stuff. I've known shorter bans for people who rely on their driving licence for their trade or whatever, and that's all down to the courts. We have no say in what the punishment is. But.
The new law, I like it. Drug dealers.
Yeah.
For drug dealers now, they're taking drive license.
Really?
Yeah, that's positive thing, I think.
Yeah, well, certainly for drug drive, we do the same. It's no different from drink drive.
For drug dealers.
Drug dealers.
Yeah, I think that's positive in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah.
So because they're exposing the cars to dealing, and So I found it this positive.
It's a constant problem we're dealing with. Obviously, drug dealing and stuff is a nightmare. It ruins lives, doesn't it? At the end of the day.
That's why I disagree with that, because it's ruined lives completely,
Yeah.
And that's why don't get me wrong. I've been offered. But I would say I would never do that, because for one and only one reason is destroying the lives, and I'm against that.
The problem is as well, it supports organised criminals. It's not just people think it's just taking a bit of drugs or a party or whatever. They think, I'm not doing anyone any harm. You're giving money to organisations, taking cocaine.
Yeah.
The people in Mexico are horrible. They behead their enemies and stick their heads in spikes and hang bodies from bridges and things. They're real evil people, and that's where the money's going. The money's going to them at the end of the day to fuel their horrible stuff that they do in Mexico. So people are just. I think sometimes people just don't think about the cost of. It just seems so easy, doesn't it? Cocaine or cannabis or whatever.
It's not a lot of stoppings going on.
We've got to have a reason to stop people. So. It's a 40-mile-an-hour road, isn't it? So, and it's kind of just finished rush hour. A lot of people aren't speeding. We're probably on ways already, So people are seeing us, before they get to us.
That's how I came here.
Yeah, you saw the ways. I'll come down.
I'm going. Let me have a chat. Sometimes nice conversations. Sometimes you have very tricky situations.
Yeah, mate. It depends on the police officer at the time.
That's why it's worth it always to come to have a chat. You guys look cool today, so
we'll head off in a minute and. Grab another coffee or something.
So McDonald's. Nice.
It's alright, man. It is what it is. What do you do for work?
I don't know.
I'm not asking to pry. Just
I don't know.
Conversation.
I'm helping people. Like police officers. Just different in ways.
But yeah, it's alright, mate. I enjoy it. I live for those once every 6 months jobs that you feel like you're making a difference and. So, it's all right.
Did you be never sued by public members? No. Okay, now that's good. Go.
Maybe it's just how I talk to him.
That's always helps. Believe me.
It helps, doesn't it? It helps. I don't really get complaints.
That's okay then.
I think sometimes you're always going to, like I say, we're always dealing with people in difficult situations, aren't we? So we always run that risk of annoying people or.
Right. Yes, good, thank you. Constable the Torts, I think we're going to move off to that other location as recommended by the campaign directors.
Nice. Cool, man. Mate, it's been nice to meet you.
Where is the next location?
You've got to find us on Waze.
I will find very quick.
Give you something to do today, won't it?
You can help me because I'm going to be there anyway.
We've met before, sir.
Yeah, is it?
You were driving a silver Focus, was it? And you didn't have any insurance. I took the car off you, I think.
No, definitely
yeah, I think so. Stopped you at the co-op. I recognise your face. Pretty sure.
No, 100% no.
It's got to be like a year ago.
I have a video I can show you.
Yeah, I think you videoed me that day
yes,
as well.
But you didn't take me. You wanted to take. I can't wait for you to take my car, but nobody ever take my car yet.
I think I did. Anyway, you
I have a video.
Day,
all right, thank you guys.
We're heading off now, mate. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Take care of yourself.
Take care. Have a good day. Don't work too hard.
I'll try.
See ya, mate. Bye. Oh, your video is on YouTube, so you can watch the video.
Okay.
It's on YouTube.
Lovely.
No one take my car. Cheers.